So the pressure and the responsibility was so much on me, actually. I didn't want to let my women down. I'm hoping, personally, there should be a strong opposition if everyone cares for the commitments that they have made towards the people and to take the people forward. But if our state and if our people need to progress, this political solution needs to be settled as soon as possible. And all the other things like AFSPA and other things will just fall into place.
Hello and welcome to the Indian Express. Today I have with me a very special guest, Hekani Jakhalu, one of the first women MLAs from Nagaland to be elected in the 60-member Nagaland Assembly. The other woman MLA is Salho Khuse of the ruling NDPP, who is now in the cabinet as well. So this is truly a historic moment for this state as of now. Hekani, thank you so much for joining us for this interview and making time for us. Thank you so much. So let me start by asking you, after you won, of course, we have got the first reaction and it's all over social media and everywhere on the television. But speaking with Indian Express, would you like to give us your reaction on how do you feel right now?
I still feel the same. The day I won, the results were declared, and today as well. Number one, I will say I'm feeling very, very blessed. Yes, it is very historic. Since the inception of the state, Nagaland has never had a woman MLA, so it's really a big deal, and it's a big blessing for our women, and I should say our people in general. So I'm very overwhelmed and just so happy. Like it still needs to sink in me that we have finally opened the doors and windows for women. Yeah.
Definitely, this is an overwhelming moment for you. Can you tell us, one or two factors that really drove you to pursue this? Because you were a lawyer by profession and you quit that profession and then you started your own nonprofit, right? So what drove you to pursue politics?
So I grew up like any other young girl. I was very ambitious when I was young. I wanted to be a successful lawyer, and that's what took me to Delhi University to do my LLB. And after that, I went to the US to do my LLM. And I've just finished my studies. I was trying to pursue my dream job. But sometime in 2005, I met with the Chief Minister of Nagaland, who is also the Chief Minister today. So this we're talking of 18 years back. And I had gone to him as a young lawyer to talk about my legal work. And he started talking about the problems of unemployment, like any leader would worry about. So that moment was the turning point in my life. I just decided to quit everything, go back home and start this nonprofit organization to focus on youth development, to focus on youth empowerment, to focus on youth unemployment. And for 17 years, I've been doing that. I love what I do. For the past 17 years, I've been working with young people. I've been fighting for them, and I love what I do. But also, I realized that at some point of time, there's only so much an NGO can do, you know, skill building, capacity building, funding, all those things. I'm comfortable. The organization is doing well, for which we also won the President's Award in 2019, Nari Shakti Puruskar. But I realized that now it's time for a policy intervention. It's important that the voices of young people and needs to be heard at the policy level. And that's when I decided to join politics. That's when I decided to join and fight the elections.
That's wonderful because you're translating your development work into public policies. So that brings me to my next question, which is as an MLA right now, what are the priorities in front of you?
So when I was campaigning, I was fighting on 4 issues. One is on youth, and that's my forte. That's what I've been doing. And yes, we all know and we all talk about young people being the future of the state, of the country. But unless we work on them, it's important that it should not just be a tall statement that we're making. As leaders, we like to make this statement about young people are the future, but unless we make an effort, we make a very, very conscious effort to build them, to nurture them, to mentor them, it is very difficult to see the future that we want to see. And so, yes, youth is one issue I'm going to be working on. Number two, women. Because this was a fight for women as well. It's important that women's voices are also heard at the policy level. So I'm going to be focusing on women. And thirdly, I'm from Dimapur III. My constituency is Dimapur III. It's a very, very neglected constituency. For a very, very long time, it's been neglected. So I want to make sure that it's a model constituency, starting from very basic things to infrastructure, to connectivity, to anything and everything. I'll try my best to build my constituency. And fourthly, I'm also fighting for minority community. And I say this because half the population in my constituency are from the minority community. And people like us from the Northeast and from Nagaland, we consider ourselves minority once we leave the Northeast, And as a young student till now, through many organizations, when I'm in Delhi, I'm fighting for Northeast, I'm fighting for Nagaland, saying that the country should take us along with them. And so here in my constituency, I believe that it is my duty to handhold my minority community and take them along with me.
Hekani, the new Nagaland government is heading towards an opposition-less government. What is your reaction on this trend towards governments without opposition in Nagaland? And why does this happen? Do you think this is a healthy development?
I will not say it's going to be an opposition-less government. I hope not. We also, after the elections, we have many smaller parties who have won a couple of few seats who wants to support the government. And we also had a meeting with our Honorable Chief Minister. We have had a discussion on that. Of course, as the head of the state, I mean, when people are offering support, he can't be refusing, but I think members, we believe that we should have an opposition because last tenure we didn't have an opposition. Yes, we didn't have an opposition. Everyone got together to come together for the Naga political solution. But now, yes, that is still the top agenda and the priority of the government under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister. But for the democracy and for the people to develop, to go forward, to progress, it is important that there's an opposition. And so I'm hoping there should be a strong opposition if everyone cares for the commitments that they have made towards the people and to take the people forward.
This is coming from the tweet that Chief Minister had tweeted. You can carry the hopes of women and future generations as change makers and role models. That's what he tweeted, congratulating you and Ms. Khuse. I want to ask you, do you see this as breaking the barrier for women in politics or breaking the barrier for yourself?
No, absolutely. This is breaking the barrier for women in politics. For me, one, I fought as a candidate like anyone else. But for me, the bigger responsibility is to take the dreams of women forward. Charu, absolutely breaking the barrier for women in politics. For me, number one, I was not just fighting this fight as a candidate. That was itself a battle. But for me, I was carrying the hopes and dreams of hundreds and thousands and lakhs of the women. So the pressure and the responsibility was so much on me, actually. I didn't want to let my women down. It was going to really be, it was going to really shatter the dreams of so many women. So for me, I had to win this election, not just like any other candidate. Of course, when you're fighting elections, you're fighting to win. But for me, like I mentioned, not just as a candidate, but as a candidate for the women in general.
According to the Ministry of Home Affairs, AFSPA is being removed from 15 police station areas in 7 districts of Nagaland. I want to understand what is your opinion on AFSPA and the resistance towards central government now that you are an ally with the BJP in the state. What do you have to say on this topic?
So, Charu, AFSPA is not a standalone law. There's more to it. It happened because of the political problem that the state and the Naga people were facing and are still facing. And today, after the agreement that has been signed between the NSC and IAM and the government of India, things are so much better now. Like, things are better now. It just, the final thing has to be nailed. That's it. And so doing this piecemeal, lifting, I mean, we're thankful to the government of India for even partially lifting it, but I think it's time, it needs to be looked into. But more than AFSPA, I think it's important that it's urgent that the political solution is it's settled. The political solution is settled, because for me, as someone who's been working on the ground, I've not been a political activist, so I will have my own other opinion than the experts. But for me, as someone who's been working on the ground with young people, because like I mentioned earlier, young people are our future, and working with young people on the ground, I've realized that not just for the sake of a political solution, but if our state and if our people need to progress, this political solution needs to be settled as soon as possible. And all the other things like AFSPA and other things will just fall into place. So I would, even through this platform, I would sincerely like to urge the Honorable Prime Minister and the government of India that if this can be looked into during this tenure, the elections came and so many things got postponed, but now that everything is in place and in order, I'm hoping that this will come very, very soon. More soon than we can ever imagine. Very soon.